Hey, it's the 13th annual Capital Jazz Super Cruise, and I'm super excited because I'm here with my friend of, I gotta say, almost 40 years now,
Wow,
Bob
wow.
James, legendary keyboard artist and composer, music director, producer, all of that. Dad, grandfather, everything. Welcome. It's good to see you here.
Thank you, Pat. And this is such a big cruise, so many people. And when I came up to do this interview, I got lucky and found out that it was you that I was going to get to talk to. That's awesome.
Well, you mentioned a lot of people on this cruise, and there certainly are some incredibly talented artists. And it's one of the things I love about it the most is the versatility of the artists who are involved. And I know this is not your first time on Capital Jazz. You were here before with Foreplay, right?
Yes, a few years ago before play, and did a couple of other cruises, but this is my first time doing my own music.
And so, what do you think about the audience so far here at Capital Jazz?
Incredible. Unique experience to be able to stay after your show. My show was a few nights ago, and now I'm still on the boat for the rest of the week. And so many people have come up to me and told me that they liked it, and it just makes you feel good. Sometimes you go away after a concert, you don't get to talk to anybody. And
Yeah.
this has been really boosting my ego.
Yeah, well, it's been a great career so far because it continues to go strong.
Hey, I
But
like that you're saying so far. I like that.
so
I
far.
got more to say.
But I kind of almost feel like I grew up with you in my love of music because some of the first albums that I ever purchased had that big CTI label on them. And if you read the liner notes, which a lot of us did back then because it was big enough for us to see it, you could see Bob James. That name just kept popping up on so many people's records. Grover Washington Jr., all of the great artists that really came through CTI at that time. Talk about what that era was like.
Well, it was like a repertory group in the theater where you have the same actors but doing different projects. I thought of it that way in music because some of us would be a sideman on one project and then a leader on the next project, and we just traded roles. And I got to know so many great people as a result of Creed Taylor believing in me. And I would be remiss if I didn't mention the fact that it was through Quincy Jones that I met Creed Taylor in the first place, all the
Wow.
way
How
back
did that happen?
well, I met Quincy because he was a judge at a jazz festival that I played in college, Notre Dame Collegiate Jazz Festival, way back in the early '60s, and he liked my group. In fact, we won the festival that year, and that was a big deal to meet him. And he decided to sign me to make my first record. And after that, we just have been friends ever since, and he's been pivotal, getting me opportunities, getting me introduced to Sarah Vaughan, who I ended up working with, and then, very importantly, getting me introduced to Creed Taylor because he asked me to play and arrange on his Walking in Space album.
Wow.
And that one was such a amazing record anyway, but to be lucky enough to write a couple of arrangements on it that proved to be my audition for Creed
Right.
Taylor, and to play, it led to a whole lot of good stuff.
You know, one of the great things about CTI and that whole stable, as it were, of artists. I mean, you had people like Grover Washington Jr. and you had Freddie Hubbard and and just so many. George Benson, another one who was there. But the
Yeah.
good thing was that people could actually grow up and evolve their talent, develop their voice in an environment where everybody played together. It was kind of like music camp forever.
Oh, absolutely. I just the other day, thanks to YouTube, came across a video of Stanley Turrentine, and my memories of him are so powerful because he was a sweet man, but such a strong jazz musician that I was trying my best to try to keep up. But we did a tour, CTI tour to Europe back in that era. I guess it was
Right.
from 1970s sometime. And the video was just close up on Stanley playing, and then all of a sudden, midway through the tune, the camera shifted over, and oh my God, it's me! I'm playing on this on this concert. I had forgotten it. I didn't even know that the video existed. But there was Ron Carter playing electric bass, of which he almost never did, and Jack DeJohnette playing drums, and these opportunities that I had
Yeah.
were just priceless, and it formed my life.
And so many beautiful stories too that have come out of those years. I know one that we had a chance to be a part of
Biggie.
when I was at CD 101 in New York. That was, I will never forget this as long as I live. But it was all about the story behind Mr. Magic. And tell what happened that day.
Well, I was in my car listening to you. It was your radio show, CD 101.9 in New York, and I was living in Westchester County, and you were interviewing Grover Washington and talking about the song Mr. Magic. And somehow or other during the course of the interview, I kept waiting for my name to come up, and it didn't come up. And Grover, for whatever reason, kind of didn't remember some of the origins of the arrangement that I did for him on Mr. Magic. And
Yeah, I think he was saying it kind of happened organically.
we were just ad-libbing it in the studio. Well, Grover, I had an arrangement there that day that I had prepared 2 weeks in advance or whatever. So you said, okay, Bob, if you want to tell your version, I'll get you and Grover in the studio at the same time, and you can talk about it. And you did. And they had rented a little keyboard for me, and Grover brought his saxophone. And we set the record straight. He was a total gentleman about it. He was great. And
because you don't remember all these things a lot of times. I know when people ask you this stuff.
Life just takes so many twists and turns. And to have that opportunity to play on the air in New York City, a live version of Mr. Magic with Grover and me just doing it as a duet, that was very powerful.
Hey, where was YouTube and social media when we needed it? You think about all the things that have happened that now so much is so documented. Everything is documented. It's really difficult to lose anything. But YouTube...
Maybe too much is documented.
But YouTube is great for bringing some of those things back, and I know you experience a lot of memories like the one you described with Stanley Turrentine as a result of that technology.
Wonderful, yes.
Yeah, but it's just another example of your love of collaboration. You are somebody who has always loved to work with other people, whether it was as a composer, an arranger, and I think because of that you have established yourself with, you've got the respect of the straight ahead jazz people, you've got the respect and love of the contemporary jazz people, you've got the respect and admiration of the hip hop and rap generation who have been sampling you like crazy. How does that feel?
It's amazing. It to still be just able to play the piano, still be doing it is fantastic for me. And yes, I love collaborating. I've always felt that maybe I'm a better accompanist than I am a leader on the piano. And yes, I like the challenge of when it's the Bob James Trio or something like that, where I have to take the front lines. But I'm the most comfortable as a support person. I love it. And I always think that I can make that saxophone sound better, or I can make the singer sound better, whatever, if I play the right chords, if I give them the right support. And the success of the records with Earl Klugh, where I felt I was primarily supporting his magical guitar sound, and same thing with David Sanborn, and all of these things. I'm good at that.
And I think one of the best examples is Foreplay, like one of the greatest ensembles ever put together. The most amazing thing being the fact that with such busy people that you would find a way to make your careers intersect and continue to keep working on making that happen today. It's awesome.
Yeah, that's an awesome thing that happened in 1991, and we decided that we would all be sidemen, and no leader, or all leaders, all sidemen, and keep it equal. And that kind of stayed with us for the last 28 years.
Yeah, and collaboration is in your future too. As we wrap up, tell us a little bit about some of the things that you have coming up.
Newest thing for me at the moment is trumpet player Till Brunner, who's very big in Europe. He's sometimes known as the European Chet Baker, but he phenomenal trumpet player, great musician, and I met him first through Chuck Loeb, four-play guitarist, on a concert over in Europe a few years ago. And he and I just decided that maybe it would be a cool thing to make an album together. So I've written some tunes for him, and he's written some. We just recorded the basic tracks in France in this studio, beautiful, down in the Provence area. And we've got Harvey Mason playing drums on it. And so anyway, that's the newest thing for me.
Hey, well, it's a great way of keeping yourself alive, hooking up with all these young people.
Trying to.
Well, listen, love to the family, to your daughter Hillary. Is Hillary still singing?
She sure is, yeah. And she and her husband are songwriting together. And
Oh,
I've got a
that's
granddaughter
wonderful.
graduating from high school and headed off to Berkeley to college. So,
OMG. That's
yeah.
amazing. Well, Bob James is here, a living legend, somebody who certainly is not done yet with his career. And we are delighted to have him as part of the Capitol Jazz SuperCruise family. It's great to
And
see
I'm
you as
delighted
always.
that it was you, Pat, that I could talk with.
Thank you so much. Hey, our only question is, where are you? Come and join us on the Capitol Jazz SuperCruise as soon as you can. Thanks, Bob.